Hello, lovelies! Oh, that's glaring off of my face. We're gonna have to fix this a little bit. That's a little bit better. Hello, 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 hello. It is a fabulous Tuesday here. I am so excited for this conversation with you. I am pretty sure I'm gonna blast this conversation all over the world because it is a really great conversation. Yeah, I'm a little bit chilly right now, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. So, to just give you some backstory, usually very analytical, actually not usually, always very analytical, and constantly trying to solve problems, right? That's just how my mind works. I am a numbers person, loved it, right? All of the things. And for a very, very long time, I was trying to figure out that secret sauce, right? Like, what was that thing that was missing? Why was everyone else successful, but I didn't seem to be successful? What was kind of the missing link? And I would always look at somebody and go, okay, well, how did she do that? All right, well, I'm going to do that same thing. Well, how did she create that success? How does she do this? How does she do that? And I was looking at all these mentors who had created the success that I wanted, and I was constantly asking, how did they do it? How did they do it? How did they do it? Well, we're only 10 days into the new year, and it was last week, I think it was right before the new year, actually. I found myself in kind of that downward, not really a downward spiral, but I was on the hamster wheel, and I was like, okay, how? This is the goal, how do I achieve it? This is the goal, how do I achieve it? This is the goal, how do I achieve it? This is the goal, how do I achieve it? I found myself asking how a lot. And then I heard a part of me say, it's not how, it's who. And I was like, that's it. That's the thing. That is the right question to be asking. You are looking to achieve something. You're looking to create something into your life. You're looking to call something into your life. It is not about how to do it. It's about who does that. Who does those kinds of things? What kind of a person manifests money quickly? What kind of a person manifests private clients? What kind of a person has $100,000 months, right? What kind of a person has $1 million years, right? What does that look like? Who am I to embody that, right? And that single question has already been a game changer for this year. We're only 10 days in. So the next time you catch yourself, you write down a goal and you say, okay, cool, how am I going to achieve it? It's not how, it's who. Who is a person that achieves something like this, right? This is it's a really good exercise, and this is one that I talk about all the time. But this simple question has reframed all of that for me. And so there's an exercise that I call the $1 million version of you. The $1 million version of you. You have $1 million in the bank. How do you show up? What do you do during the day? What are some of your characteristics, some of your traits? What are some of your habits? What does your lifestyle look like, right? That person that has $1 million in the bank account is probably different than the current person right now. Because who has changed? The who has changed. So what was I doing? I was doing a journaling prompt or something the other day, and I was thinking about, I was getting irritated with somebody. I was being agitated, I was being irritated by someone, and I was like, okay, well, how do I get this person to forgive me? Like, what is going on? Why can't, how do I fix this? And that small little voice was like, it's not how, it's who. Who do I need to be for this situation to not irritate me? Who do I need to be? Who am I showing up for in this instance, right? Certainly the how you show up is important, right? We need how sometimes, okay? But the who you're being is so, 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 so important. I cannot stress that enough. And so when I think about like, oh, I got stuck on TikTok the other day, full disclosure. And there was this person who was talking about, okay, if $3 million showed up in your bank account tomorrow, how would you respond? And I was like, 3 million? I can't wrap my head around 3 million. Like I couldn't grasp it without my self-worth being tanked, right? And so I said, okay, who am I that I would receive $100,000 a month? What does that look like? And that was closer to me than the 3 million. So I was able to kind of bridge that gap, because sometimes when we visualize and we get out there in the realm of the potentiality, we go too far. And we can't seem to bridge that gap, that we just totally discourage ourselves. And so that $3 million, yes, beautiful, shiny, pretty, that was too far for me, that I started to feel discouraged. So I had to bring it in a little bit. And it was $100,000. $100,000 I could sit there and play with in that field of potentiality. That I could get on board with. 3 million I couldn't get on board with. Now that doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means that who I am right now, that's too much of a stretch. So I had to bring it in a little bit. Where it was exciting, but also like, how the heck am I gonna do it? It's not the how, it's the who. Who am I that $100,000 a month is normal? That's exciting, right? And maybe it's not $100,000 for you. Maybe $100,000 is that scary 3 million. Maybe it's 50,000. Maybe it's 10,000. Something where you can still kind of play with it, but it's not so terrifying that you're like, ooh, no, not me. Because you've got to play in that space. Who are you bringing in that kind of money? Who are you receiving that kind of money? Who are you with an incredible relationship with your partner? Who are you when you have fun and you're present with your kids? Who? Ask yourself who. Not, how am I going to lose all of the weight this year? Maybe you have a weight goal this year. It's not how you're going to do it. Who are you where you're fit, you feel good about your health and fitness? What does that person look like? What does she do for herself? Start to get clear on who you are, and by default, you attract those things to you. This law of attraction is so, so powerful, but it matters who you are more than how you do it. Right? This is something I talk about a lot. So, ask yourself the right questions. If you are getting bogged down with trying to figure out all of the how, stop asking the how. Ask the who. Who is the person that does these kinds of things? That is really fun, right? So sometimes I will get bogged down and I'll struggle with, kind of the content creation and coming on here and doing Facebook videos. And I don't say struggle like it's not important to me. I say struggle like I will overthink it and I'll get stuck in my head. I'll spend too much time on the how that I never actually will pull the trigger and get in here. And so who, she shows up. The who is interested in really changing lives, making a difference, she shows up. Doesn't worry about the how. The how is kind of important. I know it's going to be done. I trust the process. But who am I being in that moment, right? So this is a really great exchange. Super short, super sweet. But I really want you to start thinking about the questions that you're asking yourself, because those are really, really important. So, are you asking yourself the right questions? Because you're going to get the answers for the questions that you ask for. Make sure you're asking the right ones. All right? I'm sending you lots of love. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. And I will be back here on Thursday to chat with you a little bit more. And I hope you have a fabulous day. As always, be big, be bold, and be opulent. Bye, love.